What do we do when the world seems like it's falling apart, when the storm overtakes the sunny sky? There was a pretty intense storm a couple months ago that swept through Ontario as this dark and ominous storm cloud, this intense wind, possibly evidence of tornadoes touching down, and this quick and powerful thunderstorm that followed. And I was in KW and my family was at home and they were working outside on a project, and as the clouds rolled into view over our house, and the wind picked up, my wife and her dad hurried to batten down the hatches. They were tidying up a project they were working on, and they made sure the chickens were away and the kids got inside. And that storm hit quick and furious, and maybe you can remember where you were. I was at Balzac's having a coffee with a friend. And while my wife and father-in-law were outside tidying up, my eldest was inside packing bags, comforting her siblings. She was packing up the most important stuff in the event that the storm carried Mom and Grandpa away. They were rightly terrified. Of course, the storm happened and then it passed over and our life returned to normal, except one of my kids developed a wee phobia of rain and storms because of that one day. And this kernel of anxiety grew inside her, and now every time it looks like it's gonna rain, she becomes this nervous, worried mess of fear. And we, as her parents, help her settle the storm of emotions inside her. In Circle of Security language, we are with her to comfort her, to protect her, and to help her organize her feelings. So today we're looking at a story of Jesus as one who calms the storms. It's found in Mark 4. On that day when Jesus had come, he told them, "Let's cross over to the other side of the sea." So they left the crowd and took him along since he was in the boat, and other boats were with him. A great windstorm arose, and the waves were breaking over the boat, so that the boat was already being swamped. He was in the stern, sleeping on the cushion. So they woke him up and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to die?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, "Silence, be still." The wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And then he said to them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" And they were terrified, and they asked one another, "Who then is this? Even the wind and the sea obey him." So lots could be said here. It's a fantastic story that just jumps off the page, lots of movement, lots of animation. From the turbulent storm to the calm that follows. And by way of context, this boat ride was, I think, meant to be a respite. It was meant to be a pause in the action. It's set between a pretty intense teaching section where Jesus taught lots of parables to this ever-growing crowd. And he said, let's get away from the crowd. Let's go across the sea to the other side. And then Jesus, on the other side, he arrives to a remote region where a demon-possessed man is living in an isolated cave, and it's its own challenging situation. And both are intense. And so the hope for Jesus and his friends is that they would get into the boat and have some rest and restful activity. And maybe that's you right now. The summer hits and maybe you're looking for a bit of vacation and the storm is still present. And for Jesus, this meant a nap. For his friends and followers, many who were fishermen, that meant being at home on the sea, being in the boat. That was a restful activity. But then we read that this storm, this tempest, comes quick and furious. And while they were seasoned fishermen, this storm either catches them off guard and unprepared, or it comes with an intensity that they've not seen before. And either way, it threatens to sink them. There's this Porter's Gate song led by Liz Weiss called "Wake Up Jesus." And I'll include a link to it in the blurb and at the end of the video. But the refrain for the song is, "Jesus, when are you going to wake up? When are you going to wake up and calm this raging sea? Jesus, when are you going to wake up? When are you going to wake up? How can you sleep when we're in need?" And while she sings this softly and beautifully, I can only imagine that these friends and followers of Jesus were yelling these words. "Wake up, Jesus. How can you be sleeping right now? Can't you see that we're going to die?" And just like we read in Psalm 46 on Sunday, Jesus speaks these words to the storm. He says, "Be still, be still." And in Psalm 46, we have this full phrase, "Be still and know that I am God." Here we have silence, be still. And at the end of the storm, when there's calm, they find themselves asking who this is. Both point us in the same direction. Both invite us to consider this stormy season we're in, as one where we ask Jesus to wake up, to tend to us, to be with us, to comfort us, to protect us, to help us organize our emotions, and to calm the storm with just a word. And maybe you've been asking Jesus to wake up in your life. Maybe you've been trying to weather the storm yourself. In either case, I think it's worth doubling down on Jesus, betting on Jesus, the one who has the power to calm the storms that rage inside of us and around us. And so maybe our prayer right now as a community and as individuals is, Jesus, when are you going to wake up? How can you sleep when we're in need?